What's up everyone and welcome back to MMA Talk. Justin Gaethje recently opened up about an unexpected compliment from his former rival, Khabib Nurmagomedov, one that left him both proud and reflective. In a recent post on Instagram, Gaethje responded to Khabib's remarks where the undefeated legend referred to him as the hardest-hitting opponent he had ever faced inside the octagon. The two warriors shared the cage back in October 2020 at UFC 254 in what would ultimately become Khabib's final fight before his retirement. Despite Gaethje's power and striking reputation, the bout ended with Khabib securing a second-round submission victory, extending his perfect record to 29-0. Still, for Khabib, a man known for his unshakable composure and dominance, to acknowledge Gaethje's striking power carried significant weight. Reacting to Khabib's compliment, Gaethje said he appreciated the recognition but remained grounded. "It's definitely cool hearing Khabib say that I hit the hardest," Gaethje said. "When someone like him, a man who's fought and dominated so many top-level fighters, says that about you, it means something. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that he beat me. He's undefeated, he's the champion, and I didn't win that night." Gaethje went on to recall moments from their encounter, explaining that he landed several heavy shots that he genuinely believed could have hurt the champion. "I hit him really hard. I kicked him really hard. I remember catching him with a clean right hand, and I thought that one could have changed the fight," he said. But Khabib just kept moving forward, unfazed. That's when you realize why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Even though the fight ended in defeat, Gaethje views that night as an invaluable experience. "Facing Khabib," he said, "gave him a deeper respect for mental toughness and composure under pressure. He's not just strong physically, it's his mind that sets him apart. The way he handles adversity, the calmness he shows when things get chaotic, that's what makes him special. He's one of those rare fighters who can impose his will no matter what," Gaethje added. When asked whether being labeled the hardest hitter by Khabib made him feel proud, Gaethje was honest but humble. "It doesn't feel that good because, at the end of the day, he still beat me. I didn't win the championship that night. So, yeah, it's cool, but it's not something I hang my hat on," he said with a smile. The compliment, though, adds another chapter to the mutual respect between two of the most exciting fighters in modern UFC history. While their careers took different paths after that fight, Khabib stepping away from competition to focus on coaching and mentoring, and Gaethje continuing to deliver some of the most thrilling performances in the lightweight division, the bond formed through combat remains evident. For Gaethje, the recognition from Khabib serves as both a reminder of how far he's come and motivation to keep chasing greatness. "Getting that kind of respect from someone like Khabib is special," he concluded. "It just reminds me why I fight, to test myself against the best and to earn that kind of acknowledgement. But there's still more to prove." Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Arman Tsarukyan has released new training footage that's generating excitement among MMA fans, showcasing his refined striking skills ahead of his upcoming bout with Dan Hooker. The two are set to face off at UFC Qatar on November 22nd, in what promises to be a highly competitive and action-packed lightweight clash. Known for his elite grappling and relentless pace, Tsarukyan has steadily developed into one of the most well-rounded fighters in the division. However, the new footage indicates that he's putting a heavy emphasis on improving his stand-up game, sharpening his boxing combinations, movement, and precision striking in preparation for Hooker's dangerous striking style. In the video, Tsarukyan can be seen working alongside his coaches, drilling crisp jabs, powerful hooks, and fluid head movement. His footwork appears noticeably lighter and more efficient, suggesting a strategic focus on managing distance and timing, two key areas that will be critical against a veteran striker like Dan Hooker. The Armenian-Russian contender is known for his explosive wrestling, but his dedication to evolving as a complete mixed martial artist has been evident in his recent performances. Dan Hooker, on the other hand, brings a wealth of experience and a reputation for toughness into this matchup. A seasoned veteran of wars against top names like Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, and Islam Makhachev, Hooker's Muay Thai background and aggressive style make him a dangerous test for anyone in the lightweight division. Recognizing that challenge, Tsarukyan appears to be focusing on making his striking not only more powerful but also more tactical and defensively sound. Analysts have noted that Tsarukyan's evolution from a grappling-heavy prospect into a dynamic striker-wrestler hybrid could make him a legitimate threat to the division's elite. His ability to blend sharp striking with elite-level takedowns might prove to be the deciding factor in the upcoming fight. In interviews, Tsarukyan has expressed confidence that his improvements in striking will surprise fans and his opponent alike. "I've been working on every aspect of my game, but especially my stand-up," he said recently. "People know about my wrestling, but I'm ready to show that I can compete with the best strikers too." As fight night approaches, the buzz around this matchup continues to grow. Tsarukyan's new footage suggests that he's entering the biggest fight of his career not just as a grappler, but as a complete mixed martial artist prepared to meet Hooker wherever the battle unfolds. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev has fired back at former UFC bantamweight champion Paddy Pimblett following recent comments that questioned his national allegiance. agents. The tension began earlier this year when Yen congratulated Chimaev on his victory over Dricus du Plessis, acknowledging his impressive performance and expressing happiness over the success of a fellow countryman. However, Yen's remarks didn't end there. He went on to clarify that, in his view, Chimaev should not be considered a Russian champion since he now competes under the flag of the United Arab Emirates rather than Russia's. Those comments didn't sit well with Chimaev, who decided to address them directly during a recent interview with Al-Shabak. Speaking confidently, Chimaev reaffirmed his roots and made it clear that his connection to Russia remains strong, regardless of which flag he competes under. "People know where I come from," Chimaev stated. "I was born in Chechnya, I grew up in Russia, and I will always represent my people and my country with pride. Just because I train or live somewhere else doesn't change that." Chimaev, who has spent much of his professional career training internationally, including in Sweden and the UAE, emphasized that his decision to represent a different flag in competition is based on logistical and professional reasons, not a matter of national identity. "I fight for myself, my family, and the people who support me," he said. "It doesn't matter what flag is next to my name, everyone knows who I am and where I'm from." Never one to hold back, Chimaev also threw a playful jab at Petr Yan during the interview, mocking his last name in typical Chimaev fashion. "Yan says I'm not Russian, but his own last name sounds more Chinese than Russian," he quipped, laughing off the tension. The remark quickly made waves among fans online, fueling the ongoing rivalry between two of Russia's most well-known MMA figures. While the exchange has added some spice to the MMA community, it also highlights the pride both fighters take in their heritage and accomplishments. Chimaev's response underlines his confidence and unwavering belief in his identity, while also showcasing his signature blend of humor and defiance. As Chimaev continues his rise in the middleweight division and Yan looks to bounce back from recent setbacks, their war of words adds yet another layer of intrigue to the world of MMA. Whether the two ever share the octagon or simply keep trading verbal jabs, one thing is certain: neither man backs down easily. Move on to another news. UFC President Dana White has hinted that Ilia Topuria could make his next appearance on the first ever UFC event broadcasted on Paramount this coming January. In a recent media scrum, Dana addressed several major storylines currently developing in the promotion, including Topuria's next fight, a possible Charles Oliveira vs Max Holloway BMF title bout, and Khamzat Chimaev's upcoming middleweight title defense. When asked about the promotion's plans for the Paramount debut card, Dana revealed that matchmaking discussions had just begun. "We literally started working on the first Paramount card today," he said. "We had our matchmaking meeting, and that's where all the planning begins." When pressed on whether fans could see Ilia Topuria headline or feature on that card, Dana smiled and said, "It's a possibility." That statement alone sparked immediate speculation among fans. Topuria, the undefeated UFC featherweight champion, has become one of the sport's biggest rising stars, especially after his knockout victory over Alexander Volkanovski earlier this year. Having him fight on the debut Paramount card would make perfect sense for viewership and fan engagement. Dana also discussed Charles Oliveira's recent performance against Mateusz Gamrot, praising the former lightweight champion for his explosive return. Oliveira made headlines after calling out Max Holloway for a potential BMF title showdown, a matchup that Dana admitted would be incredible to see. "Charles had a crazy performance against Gamrot," Dana said. "He looked sharp focused, and when he called out Max for the BMF belt, it definitely got people talking. That fight would be incredible to see again." However, White clarified that nothing has been finalized yet. "We don't have anything locked in right now, but we did talk about it today," he added. The UFC boss also touched on the middleweight division, confirming that discussions about Khamzat Chimaev's first title defense are already underway. He mentioned Rainier de Ridder's upcoming fight against Brendan Allen as a potential factor in future matchmaking. "If Rainier goes out there and does something spectacular, could he leapfrog and get a shot at Khamzat? Let's see how the fight plays out," Dana said. "We talked about Khamzat today, we talked about everybody. There's a lot in motion." As 2024 draws to a close, Dana emphasized that much of the early 2025 schedule, including the highly anticipated Paramount launch, will depend on how the remaining fights of this year unfold. "It's all coming together," he said. "We'll see how the end of the year plays out before we finalize what's next." If Topuria does headline the Paramount debut card, fans could be witnessing the beginning of a new broadcast era for the UFC, one that combines star power, high-stakes fights, and global anticipation. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev has once again made headlines, this time by calling for a super fight with Alex Pereira at light heavyweight. During a recent interview, the undefeated Chechen-born star expressed his eagerness to take on new challenges and made it clear that he believes a showdown with Pereira would be one of the biggest and most exciting fights the UFC could possibly book. Chimaev, who recently captured the middleweight title, stated that while he's proud of his accomplishments in the division, he's hungry for a new test. "I've beaten everyone they've put in front of me," he said. "I want the biggest fights now, real challenges, real danger. Alex Pereira is that guy. He's powerful, he's dangerous, and he's a champion. That's the kind of fight I want." The potential matchup immediately caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. Pereira, the current light heavyweight champion, is widely regarded as one one of the most feared strikers in the sport. Known for his devastating knockout power and precise kickboxing, Poatan has built a reputation as a nightmare matchup for anyone who dares to stand with him. But Chimaev, never one to back down from risk, seems more than willing to meet him head-on. "I respect Alex, he's a great fighter and a real warrior," Chimaev continued. "But I believe in myself. I can take him down, I can control him, and I can finish him. I want to test myself against the best, and right now, he's one of the best in the world." Chimaev's confidence isn't unfounded. His relentless wrestling, explosive grappling, and growing striking arsenal have made him one of the most dominant forces in modern MMA. A move up to light heavyweight would not only showcase his ambition but could also cement his legacy as one of the most versatile and fearless fighters in the UFC. Fans have already begun to speculate about how such a matchup might unfold. Could Chimaev's pressure and grappling neutralize Pereira's striking, or would Pereira's elite-level power be too much for Chimaev to handle? The stylistic contrast, a powerful kickboxer versus a relentless grappler, makes the idea of this fight irresistible to the MMA community. As of now, the UFC has not confirmed any talks regarding the Superfight, but Dana White has previously hinted that he's open to big, cross-divisional matchups if the timing and fan demand are right. With both fighters sitting at the top of their divisions and enjoying immense popularity, a Chimaev vs Pereira showdown could easily headline a pay-per-view and go down as one of the most anticipated fights in UFC history. For Chimaev, though, the message is simple. He's ready for anyone, at any weight. "Let's do it," he said with a grin. "Tell Alex I'm coming." Move on to another news. In a lighthearted but intense training moment that quickly went viral, Islam Makhachev was captured putting one of his teammates in a Darce choke, while Khabib Nurmagomedov hilariously stepped in to stop the friend from tapping out. The footage, which surfaced from a recent training session, offered fans a rare glimpse into the playful yet fiercely competitive atmosphere inside Team Khabib's gym. In the video, Makhachev, known for his world-class grappling and suffocating submission skills, demonstrates the technique with his usual precision. As his training partner struggles to breathe, Makhachev tightens the choke, applying steady pressure while Khabib watches from the sidelines with a grin. When the friend begins to tap, signaling submission, Khabib jokingly grabs his hand to prevent it, urging him to endure the squeeze a little longer. Laughter breaks out around the mats as the teammate blurts out, "I'm going to sleep." The scene perfectly captures the spirit of camaraderie and competition that defines the Dagestani camp. Makhachev, the reigning UFC lightweight champion, and Khabib, the retired undefeated legend, often push their training partners to their limits, but always with an undercurrent of humor and mutual respect. Their bond goes beyond fighting. It's about discipline, loyalty, and brotherhood. This moment also highlights the sharp difference between the two fighters' personalities. Makhachev, usually calm and serious, executes the technique flawlessly without breaking focus, while Khabib, ever the playful coach, keeps things lighthearted even in the middle of an intense grappling session. Fans in the comments sections praised the clip for showing the family side of the team that has dominated the lightweight division for years. Training sessions like these have become legendary among MMA followers. They reveal how much technical detail, mental toughness, and mutual trust go into preparing elite fighters like Makhachev. Every choke, sweep, and scramble is not just practice, it's part of the culture of excellence that Khabib built and continues to pass on to his students. Even though it was all in good fun, the video also served as a reminder of just how dangerous Makhachev's submissions can be. The Darce choke, a signature technique in his arsenal, is known for ending fights quickly once fully locked in. Seeing it demonstrated so casually in the gym, with Khabib jokingly preventing a tap, only reinforced how dominant the Dagestani team remains in the grappling department. In the end, both Makhachev and Khabib shared a laugh, their teammate fully recovered and smiling. It was a moment that perfectly summed up the essence of their training camp: hard work, humor, and the unbreakable bond between two of MMA's most respected champions. Move on to another news. UFC commentator John Anik believes that all of the pressure is squarely on Tom Aspinall's shoulders as he prepares to defend his undisputed heavyweight title against Cyril Gane at UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. During a recent discussion on his podcast with Kenny Florian, Anik broke down why he sees this fight as one of the biggest pressure moments in recent UFC history, and why a loss here could have massive implications for Aspinall's career trajectory. "I can't think of a bigger pressure spot in recent UFC memory," Anik said. 12 days from now, Tom Aspinall will walk into Abu Dhabi to make the first defense of his undisputed heavyweight championship. When you look at what the last 2 years have been like for him, fighting only about 60 seconds in total, it's hard not to feel the weight of that moment. Anik was referring to Aspinall's long road back from injury and inactivity. The British heavyweight suffered a devastating knee injury just seconds into his first fight with Curtis Blaydes in 2022, sidelining him for over a year. Since then, he's had only one brief fight, a spectacular first-round knockout win, to reclaim his momentum. Now, as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career against one of the division's most technically gifted strikers, Anik believes the expectations are enormous. Given everything that's happened, Tom has to prove not only that he's healthy, but that he's the real deal, the guy who can carry the heavyweight division forward, Anik continued. He's fighting Cyril Gane, who is a very tricky opponent, not an an easy guy to look good against. So, if Aspinall wants to validate his place as the top heavyweight in the world, this is the fight to do it. Anik even went as far as to say that a loss to Gain would be viewed as a major upset, potentially one of the biggest shockers in heavyweight history. If Tom were to lose this fight, it would be massive.
We're talking about a Matt Serra over George St. Pierre kind of upset, he said.
It would shake up the division completely, because the UFC has been looking to build Tom as the next big superstar at heavyweight. A loss here would be wild, it would change everything. According to Anik, the UFC has placed a lot of faith in Aspinall to become the face of the heavyweight division, particularly in a post-John Jones era. With his skill set, personality, and marketability, many see him as the future of the weight class.
That's why this first title defense carries so much weight.
Tom can't afford to stumble now, Anik concluded.
He's got the talent, he's got the momentum, and he's got the spotlight.
But with all that comes pressure, and right now, I think all of it is on him.